Lama says answer your questions. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Anybody who has questions?
Mama, can you please give us your heart's teachings on resting in the natural state, please?
Lama says whenever you are doing practice, whether it's a chanting of mantras or it's a meditation or whatever practice that you do, your heart should be very kind and compassionate. And with that, if you do the practice, then it will be good. And he says like the sky, which has no boundary. Similarly, there are that many sentient beings who has been your parents in many lives. And you should pray that all of them are, kind of liberated from the suffering. And when you do the meditation, you have to keep in mind and you have to think that for those many sentient beings, you are meditating and praying. The reason for accepting that all the sentient beings are parents because for many, many eons and generations we have taken birth in all the six realms with whom we had connection, they had been our parents. So that's the reason for accepting that sentient beings are so numerous like sky. And there are many ways of practicing the teachings, like for example, like Hinayanas, Mahayanas, Theravādas, there are various different kinds of teachings. And it all helps you for during the teaching. Any practice you do from whichever school, whichever sect. No. He says, like, for example, it's, I don't know what it's called in English. I think it's a brown sugar type, the solid one, which is made for sugar cane. And it's like that, from whichever corner you eat, it's sweet. And there are various kinds of good merits, like physical good merits, speech good merits, and mind good merits. And for practice and meditation, there are various ways of, visualizing like the However, everything is done by your mind. Yes. Among the three, like the body, the speech, and the mind, he says the more powerful is the mind. For example, like whenever you think that you want to go to a certain place, then your body starts moving in that way. And if you think like you want to stay, then your body stays. And if you think in your mind you want to meditate a deity, then your body will also do that. Similarly, when you chant mantra also, first you have to think from the mind, and then only it comes out from the speech. And he says, he's trying to tell you that the mind is more important than other two. Like the mind is more powerful and body and speech are more or less powerful. And it becomes same thing when you die also. And when you die, like your speech is goes to emptiness. There's no speech. And the body does dissolves into soil and everything. But the mind always stays. And when you cremate the body gets burned, but the mind does not. And the mind kind of roams around like and that's why the mind is very powerful. Now we think the mind is more powerful, and when we meditate, we think like from soil, earth, rock, wherever we try to look whether the mind comes from there. But you will never find that. You have to look your mind either outside of body or inside of your body. You should see if your hair is your mind or not. You should see whether the bone is mind or not, skin is mind or not. Even the brain is not your mind. Similarly, we have several organs in our body which are all not mind. And so, like for Tibetans, they believe mind is the heart, and for Westerners, they believe mind is the brain. And everybody thinks in that way. You see yourself whether it's the mind or not. And he says, when our body is cremated, brain, heart, everything gets burnt, but mind does not. So whether it's a mind or not, it's you have to see that. No, it's like yes, like he says, mind does not get burnt. Like body, when you bury it underground, the body stays under the ground, but the mind roams around.
Then so I imagine the such a young is sad saying it is sabu sabu sabu
Sabu
sa
Shaki and like in Tibet, when we die, I mean, there are certain rituals that we take body to and offer it to the birds, vultures.
Then the saga is maybe saga is same sure that is
and vultures, they eat the heart, they eat like all parts of our body, but the mind is not eaten. So you have to meditate in that way, looking for your mind, and still you will not find your mind. Either the mind should be red, blue, or white in colors, or in different shapes like triangle, square, or there. But then there's no such shape or colors in mind. And there's no mind which is big and small. There's no mind which can be counted 1 or 2, 3. So when you search in that way, when you go looking for your mind, you won't find your mind. It always becomes empty. You come across empty. Sometimes, like for example, you are here now, but your mind goes back to your home and think about your home, and you have to see whether your mind travels to that place or not. But that does not travel. Mind does not travel. If mind travels to your home, then mind and body has to be separate, but that's not true because mind and body is together. Mind does not travel towards west, or mind does not travel towards back to you in India. Your mind is a little bit empty, and because of in those little empty in your mind, you kind of think in many different things in your life. However, the mind does not travel. Right now, we are very near to the lake. Although we can't see the lake, but we can think in our mind about the lake. But mind does not travel towards the lake. And it does not go there and come back also. And your mind keeps on, how do I say, thinking until your emptiness is filled up. You cannot fill up the mind because it kind of mind is like a sky, it has so much of emptiness in it. It's a kind of like sky everywhere. It kind of spreads. Similarly, mind is like empty and it spreads all over. The essence of our mind is empty.
예, 사와요. 사와.
공주스러.
예, 맞아요. 그래서 배나 내만 나오가노래.
나스.
그는 되게 더 사보요래. 사보 통으로와.
나마.
오, 사와. 사와. 오, 공바. 아지 사와. 참 중요하지.
In the mind, although it's empty, but it's very clear. It's very, clear. You can see everything.
두개 컨셉스는 사람들도 와도 양성법과 잡되어있어.
Your mind is very much spread all over.
내만 나오가는 요래. 내만 쌤 양성법있어.
It's like the sun which is in the sky, but then the rays spreads all over the world.
대연은 아주 쌤 양성법 잡되어있어. 사와.
So keeping the sun as an example, our mind is similarly, spread all over.
뭐 동바대 축구를 있어. 담아가야 돼. 축구도 담아가.
뭐 동바대
동바대 축구 담아가. 축구는 emptiness.
The essence of emptiness is dharmakaya.
네, 얘는 안기고 싸워.
And it has a natural clearance.
이게 내가 산스크리트에서 삼보드가야 세요. 삼보드가야.
In Sanskrit it says sambodhagaya.
대레 루바찬 나조주샤 나조수동 대 동반대 산스크리트는 이만가야.
나조파가야. 샤르파야로.
나리에 나와 샥시 동반. 네, 삼보드가야. 이만가야.
And the Nimanakaya said it. And the spread of that mind is called Nimanakaya. Sambodhagaya, Nimanakaya.
네, Dhammakaya.
Dhammakaya.
Dhammakaya chugu. Sambodhagaya sarva. Sarva.
Dhammakaya said Tongwa.
Chugu.
Sambodhagaya said
sarva.
Sarva.
Dhammakaya judgment accepted.
Dharmakaya Tongwa. Sorry for I can't be a good translator. Dharmakaya is emptiness. Sambhokaya is clearance or luminous. Luminosity. And Nimanakaya and it's like a spread of expanse. Yeah, that's right. With expanse. It is happened naturally like that. And he says you all might have your own root teachers. So if you take teachings and do good meditation, then you will understand all this. Yeah, it takes a little time, but slowly you will understand in future. And it's very important to understand too. In this life, we have got the opportunity to practice teaching in this world. And if you practice properly and nicely in this lifetime, you will have a better lifetime in future. And we all have the wealth of Buddha, the nature of Buddhahood within us. And it's said that all the sentient beings are Buddha. And because of our ignorance, pride, ego, and all those kind of things, it's kind of our Buddhahood is covered. And if you take off that cover or the smell or whatever, then it's a pure Buddha in that. And for that, you have to meditate and practice.
Sanji Rongli yes. Sanji Rongli Yoga, Seni to Sanji is. Rongli Yoga Majina. Sitter Yen to Sanji Zaras, such a yin to Sanji Za, to where the Zabo is.
And it says like the Buddha is within you, but still not knowing that Buddha is within you. If you go on looking for Buddha around, then that's that's kind of a stupidity.
Buddhism with the song is big. Then the woman magic journey. There is a sazon there. Sazon there,
There's another there.
Sazon there.
Sazon.
Chinchano Diana.
Oh,
Nuna.
no.
Nuna or Sazon there. Third dance, third thing, no more.
No.
Contramo was Yajan, third dog, no car on the valley.
Oh.
The rain, the same, down there, no younger.
No.
Big.
No.
Sazon. Roma Guy, Roma Mari, Legamale, the Mayan Mari, Legamale, the Sazon del Mayan Maris, big header and big.
And like Guru Rinpoche kept an example, like the mustard which has oil in it, and like the milk which has butter in it. What? No.
But
if you do not practice and do not churn the milk, you cannot get the butter. If you do not press the mustard, then you won't get the oil.
Ruby the Hindu will joy you to a sentiment is hunting joy of this. You also manage send you some jazz. Roma Jan send you some Yagamaris.
And similarly, although there is Buddhahood in every sentient being, but if you do not practice and meditate, try to destroy your ignorance and pride, ego and everything, then you can never find the Buddha.
You also name up Balon Zayutos. You also name Guy Zero and Zing. Zero. Guy Kadata Zim. You also name Balon Guy Kadata the Chicago one, something to
And if you practice and meditate, even a cowhead who has no knowledge or no literacy can become a Buddha. So it's very important that everybody should practice and try to reveal the Buddhahood within you, and you should all know the emptiness of our mind is the Buddhahood. And all the sentient beings who has mind is the Buddha. And like he says, lamas, sanghas does not have a special mind or special Buddha, or lay people does not mean that they have inferior Buddha or something. Everybody has the same and equal Buddhahood within them. And whoever practices and meditates can become a Buddha. Says that this lifetime is a very important lifetime. It is the time when we can decide to have better life or bad life in future. And there are so many lamas, dokus, and temples around us. They have such a good opportunity for practicing and teaching, and we should not lose this opportunity. If there is no religion or no teachings or practices within this world, then world can become a very different world than what we live in right now. And it's very important that to meditate, to give alms to the people who need, and offering of mandalas and offerings to the holy people, holy places, and it's very important, and it's one of the path towards Buddhahood. And the second path is the meditation, and second path is the meditation. In this, during 3 times, that's past, present, and future, all the Buddhas who have been enlightened had become enlightened through meditation. And to attain good merits from your speech, mind, and body is like a leg for your body. And the meditation is like your eye. And if you want to, like for example, if a body wants to go somewhere, even though you have an eye, you cannot walk because you don't have a leg. If you have leg, then if you don't have eye, then again you cannot walk. If you have both a leg and eye, then you can reach wherever you want to go. So those 2 paths, that's the attaining of good merits through speech, mind, and body, and meditation. These 2 paths are the most important paths for attaining Buddhahood. I think that's it.